Hey y'all, it's y'all favorite cozy girl, Chi the Reality Queen, and I'm back again with another episode of Robe Chronicles. Tonight, I'll be talking about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 6, Episode 10. Okay, so I know I'm behind because I missed a couple episodes because I was out of country, but I am back and I'm here to talk about the show again. I'm so sorry, y'all. So this episode starts off with Whitney showing up at not Whitney, with Heather showing up at Whitney's house, and they're basically having a surprise potluck for Brittany. Why, you ask? Because when they were coming back from their yacht trip, apparently Meredith went off on Brittany on the plane, and it was loud, it was nasty, it was embarrassing. And so all the girls, not all the girls, but some of the girls feel bad for Brittany, and now they want to hold a little potluck to show that they care about her and like her. I don't agree, but it's not me. So, additionally, because Bronwyn threw her little unicorn off the yacht with Jared's voice, she brings in like a Build a Bear company, like a mobile Build a Bear company, so they can create stuffed animals for Brittany. Everyone was there, obviously, besides Lisa and Meredith, because Meredith doesn't think that she did anything wrong. And obviously, Lisa is siding with her friend. And I also, Whitney didn't invite them because she's all like, oh, I can't believe what Meredith did. It was so disgusting, whatever. So they all make these little Build a Bear things and they record voice notes and they listen to them. And Mary didn't record a voice note. She was like, and so, production asked her in her one on one, basically in her confessional, like, oh, are you like cool with her? And Mary's like, no, I don't care for her. And I don't think we've built anything. I just think what Meredith did was wrong. Plain and simple. Like, I think what she did was wrong, but I still don't like the girl. And you kind of have to appreciate someone who stands on business. Like, I could tell right from wrong with my friends, but that doesn't mean I have to like the girl. I can just know that she was did wrong and I can support that. Do I think that they should have done this? To be honest, it almost feels like they did it because there's so much commentary online about people being mean to Britney. So I think maybe they felt like, okay, let's try to include her. But honestly, I don't think they needed to do that. Um, but anyways, Whitney talks about feeling unsafe around Meredith and whatever. Um, And then Whitney, while they're sitting around the table, kind of calls out the fact that Bronwyn isn't wearing her wedding ring. And Bronwyn's like, yeah, honestly, right now, me and Todd aren't in a good place. Like, he was caught, I guess, so he was flying somewhere for work, and someone saw him looking at photos of other women while on the plane or whatever. And when she asked him about it, they got into an argument and she kicked him out. She tells the ladies that she wished that they had like some type of arrangement in which it's not him sneaking around, but she's more like in the know of what's going on. Um, and then, yeah, I feel like, and I've seen this thought process online, is a lot of people think that Bronwyn came on the show to kind of be able to leave him, and it's giving that for real. Um, but she wants to leave on her own terms, in her own way, and not, how things are going. So then we see Mary. She goes to her church. She brings Robert Jr. and they're talking about where he's at spiritually. And he's telling his mom about how everybody he was in rehab with and he was friends with has already relapsed. If you ask me, I don't know too much about addiction, but to me, it seemed like he was trying to soft launch her into his relapse. Like, I've already started using drugs again, but I'm trying to see what you think about my friends first before I tell you that I have, you know. And she's telling him, you need to pray, you need to do this, you need to that, and she's like, you need to tell your friends to pray and this. And he was saying like, oh, I have my relationship, but I don't try to force other people to have a relationship. Like, I don't want to force anything on them. And I thought that was a very interesting point he made, because although he does have a relationship, it almost comes off as if he was forced, which I imagine he was, right? Not in a bad way, but like, that's your family, right? So I feel like maybe he was forced, and because he was forced, he kind of looks at it a little negatively. I don't know. That was kind of what I was picking up from what he was putting down. Um, and then she tells him that she wants to invite the women to church, which I believe she does. Then we see Lisa going to lunch with John, and she talks about she's hoping how the kids will get along when the older one comes back from his missionary trip or whatever it's called. And she's talking to John about how he undermines her parenting and they just really haven't been on the same page about stuff. And she doesn't like that. And while they're talking, like John is trying to say stuff and she keeps cutting him off. And he's like, one of our problems is like, you never let me finish talking. Like, you always have to cut me off. And it's funny because I've noticed this since season one. Since season one, every time she talks to that man, she don't let him get a word out. And I'm like, this is on camera. On camera, when I think people are most conscious of their behavior, she's doing it. So I can't even imagine how much she does it off camera. So when he said that, I'm like, yeah, like I've seen it. And he also talks about how like they're always talking about business, and so they don't really have anything else to talk about, and that that there's a communication breakdown. And I don't want to speak negatively on anyone's relationship, but I have felt for a very long time that John was a loser growing up. Maybe that's not the term to use. And Lisa was like the hot cool girl, and he got the hot cool girl, and he was happy. And so, Lisa was treating him however any which way because she was a hot good cool girl, and he was just happy to have her. Maybe that's not the case, but that's how it feels. The way he kind of lets her get away with stuff, the way he kind of just excuses certain behaviors. Like, and I think now he's starting to realize, maybe watching it back, because sometimes you think a behavior or something is weird or think something is bad, but then it's like, I have no proof. Like, I'm just assuming it. Is it my head? Is it in my head? Am I making it up? Whatever. Versus I'm watching it back. Maybe it's editing, but I'm watching something back that I have thought for years that I'm being disrespected, and this person doesn't, because he even talked about her being dismissive and not paying attention when they talk, like always being on the phone when he's trying to talk to her or they're trying to have a conversation. So I think it's things he's been thinking about, but he has never been able to like prove it, maybe. Or because, Lisa gets really, really offended and combative when people say stuff about her that she doesn't like or she doesn't believe is true, whether it is or it isn't. So maybe he has been thinking it, he can't prove it. And now the camera is showing everything that he thought with how they are. Um, but yeah. So then Brittany meets up with Jared. Why? I don't know. I honestly, I don't really care for her. Like, I don't think her story is interesting. I think she's a try hard. And this whole thing with Jared is like disgusting, really. So, anyway, she meets up with him, and he starts off talking about, oh, I heard from Justin that you were flirting on the yacht with all these men and this and that. And he's looking for someone who's stable, and she's just not stable. And so she asked him straight up, like, well, what do you want? And this man, in true man fashion, skirts around the conversation. He starts bringing up the yacht and their 30-day break and all this stuff. So Brittany gets mad and she walks away crying. Now, are those real tears? Are those fake tears? I don't know. But that's what she does. She gets up, she walks away, she's all upset. And so he goes and he tries to pull her back and console her and be like, baby, whatever. And in that, you would think he would say what he wanted from her, but he doesn't. He's just still beating around the bush talking nonsense. And I'm just like, this scene is so pointless because it's only proving that he don't like her. He don't like her. And he wants access to her when he wants access to her. And he don't care about her when he don't care about her. That's pretty much what it is. Like, Jared, now I'm not saying Brittany is a good person. I'm not saying he should be with Brittany. I'm not saying none of that. I'm just saying that he is purposely not being clear with her and about her, because he knows as long as he can keep dangling a little fruit in front of her, she's going to stay on the hook. And he's doing it. It sucks for her. It's hard to watch, but that's what he's doing. So now we see Bronwyn. She's talking to Todd, and he's already not paying attention. He on the phone. He going through his phone, whatever. Probably looking at women. And so they're talking, and she's trying to get him to see, like, hey, I don't mind. Let's have an arrangement. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And he's like, I think what we have is good. No, it's not, Todd. What we have is not good. Like, it's crazy to me because I think that, and I could be wrong, that Bronwyn probably wants to see other men, but she doesn't know how, like, she wants to be loyal. She wants to be a good wife. So she wants the arrangement so she can do stuff without feeling guilty or bad and whatever. Because, girl, you pushing real hard. Because I think she also doesn't want to lose the money, the finance, the lifestyle, because Todd is, he's a provider. He's providing. So I don't think she wants to lose that. I think she wants to keep that. And she wants to make sure that, she's also able to get what she wants on the side. And if he wants to get something on the side, cool too. Like, it doesn't have to be a situation where she's sitting at home, you know, the field mouse song, I'm so sick of being lonely every night while my man. That's what she don't want. She don't want her man to be outside while she's at home. She wants to be outside too. She too wants to be outside and still enjoy the benefits of all the money that Todd has. That's the way it seems to me. Um, and then she tells him about how she was talking to Whitney about it, and Todd's like, oh, what our relationship is no one else's business. But it's like, she's a woman and women are going to talk about their business. Now, is Whitney the person? Probably not. But maybe she sees similarities in Whitney because maybe Whitney and Justin have something going on, and maybe she feels comfortable coming to Whitney and trying to share with Whitney and talk to Whitney about it because maybe she's trying to get an inside scoop. Now, I'm not saying that's what Justin and Whitney do. I don't know what they do in their home, but I'm thinking that might be why she feels so comfortable coming to Whitney, especially when she was like, oh, we're like similar in age and you're fun and this and that. I was like, is fun code for swinger? I don't know. I mean, shit. We saw the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. They could easily switch out Whitney with them girls because it seemed like she on the same type of time. But yeah. So then, I don't know, but I'm interested to see how long or how much longer Todd and Bronwyn remain married. Maybe forever, because I don't know if Bronwyn is ready to be poor again. I don't think so. Um, now we see Mary. She shows up at her church. It's the day of her service. Um, and the church door is locked. Like, girl, if this is your church and you preaching, why don't you, even if people are supposed to be there, you ain't got a key? Why are you at the door knocking? Weird. Um, and then her cousin asked her why she came to the church solo. And she said that when she got to the car, she looked at Robert Jr. and she could tell that he was high. Didn't I say earlier that he was trying to soft launch her into his relapse? I already knew it. I already knew it. And I'm not judging his path, right? Because things happen. I'm just saying I knew what was up. It wasn't no, like, it was very obvious. He's like, oh, all my friends have relapsed, baby, because you did too. You just trying to see how your mama gonna take it, because you love your mom and you don't want her to judge you and you want her to, whatever. So I know it was hard for him, but she said because he was high, she told him to stay home and not come to church. And I mean, I don't know his childhood. I don't know nothing about Robert in that manner as to why he would be having the problems that he's having, because obviously anybody can have problems. But I can imagine that your father, also once being your great grandfather by marriage, is father being a great grand, yeah, because he was married to Mary's grandmother. Yes. So his father, see, I had to, because it's weird. It's a little weird. Being his great grandfather by marriage, and people probably mentioning it, can't imagine it's a good feeling. But I don't know if that's it. I'm just saying that thinking about that, that's probably the toughest thing that happened in his life because obviously he grew up wealthy with money and, whatever. So all the women are coming to the church. Whitney and Heather come together and they're like talking, wondering if Lisa and Meredith are going to show up. All the women are there. Lisa and Meredith do show up. Meredith shows up with a boot on her foot, and everybody's like, "Hey, Meredith, what the heck happened?" And Heather makes the joke, "Oh, she got that boot on her foot from kicking Brittany." And like, girl, yes, because what happened? I feel like Meredith is always randomly injured. And it kind of goes to the fact that they're like, oh, she's always so high on drugs. Now, I don't know if she is or she isn't, but people are saying that's how she is. So maybe she just be going around a little bit too quickly in her home and hurting herself. That's what I'll say. Um, they go into the church, everyone's like crying and praising, and I don't know if these people are throwing dubs on the worship because the cameras are there or if this is how the Pentecostal church always is. um but it was a lot. Now, I'm not over here to say I'm an overly religious girly because I'm not, but I would never go to that church. Not because it seems like a cult or not because the word wasn't there, but I don't like the way Mary preaches. And it's funny because she says she never writes a sermon. She always just lets the word take her. And I'm like, it's obvious to me that you do not write sermons. It's very obvious. Um, the sermon was very lackluster. I don't like Mary's voice. Actually, I realized I I think there's, I'm used to a certain type of church. I've been to a lot of AME churches, Baptist churches, um, just Christian, Catholic. I've been to a lot of churches. I have. I've gone to a lot of churches with my friends, family, different things. And there's a cadence pastors have when they talk and they preach and they're spitting the good word. And I'm not saying that everyone should have it because everyone should be different, but I don't like Mary's cadence. It's a little whiny and it's not so like, and this is sad because I feel like Mary's whole shtick is that she's a preacher or a pastor or what, I don't know what they call him in the Pentecostal church, but that is who she is. And I listened to that sermon, or maybe how it was cut up, maybe the editing, I don't know, but I was like, this is terrible and this would not move me. Now, did she pray for everybody? Did she preach? But I've gone to churches and I'm like, dang, that person just preached the house down. Like they really did a big one. I feel that. Like I feel the spirit in this place. I did not feel that. Again, I'm one person. I wonder what y'all think about it because I feel like I hate her a little bit. I feel like I hate her a little bit, but it was not. It wasn't good. And she, in her preaching, she called out all the ladies individually, spoke about their issues, prayed for them, brought them together at the end in a circle and prayed for all of them, which I thought was really, really sweet. And I like that she did that for them. But I don't know. I didn't like that. Glad they showed her in her church though, since that's her element. That's what she does. But I just wasn't a fan. I don't know. I wonder what y'all think. Please let me know what y'all think. Did y'all like her sermon? Did you like her preaching? Do you feel like maybe it was difficult because the cameras were on and so some of the church people felt like they had to be extra and do extra? Or are you someone who's Pentecostal and that's how it is all the time and it wasn't no dubs, it wasn't no extras. That's just how that church operates. Let me know because I'm really curious. Um, Additionally, I thought this episode was pretty bad. So far, I think they haven't really had too many bad episodes, but this was definitely one of them. I didn't really care for it. Didn't think it was that entertaining. Not saying that you have to have drama every single episode, but focusing a lot on Brittany and giving Brittany that much airtime, big mistake. Big mistake. But yeah, what did you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Please like, comment, share, subscribe to my channel, and let me know what you're thinking. Should I watch another Real Housewives? I know right now I'm sticking to Potomac and Salt Lake City, but should I add New York? Should I add Miami? Should I add? They're about to do Rhode Island, I believe they said. Like, what should I do? Should I add some more? Let me know what you guys think, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.